Okay, here's the idea. Growing up neurodivergent is inherently traumatizing. Let's unpack it. So, to grow up neurodivergent is to grow up fundamentally different. You think differently, a lot of the time you move differently even. You process differently, you learn differently. Everything about the autistic, ADHD, or ADHD experience is different to the way neurotypicals experience things. This wouldn't be a problem if it weren't for the way neurotypicals conform like they're in a fascist regime. From the moment you act in a noticeably different way with ADHD or autism, a neurotypical clocks it. They see the difference in your behavior and instinctively they try and correct it. Instead of noticing difference and celebrating difference, they try and bring it back to a mean, to an imaginary mean. It's this process that is the bedrock for all of what makes neurodivergence traumatizing. It's the idea that to be accepted, to be liked, to be worthy of love, attention, success, we have to be normal. We have to function like everyone else. And we're not normal, we're different. I've lost my train of thought. This is going to happen a lot during this 40-minute drive. I'm going to tell you guys a story, and it kind of sums up in all of its innocence how damaging little bits of invalidation, when they're frequent enough, can be. When I was in preschool, I sucked at colouring inside the lines. I was so bad at it. The assignment was to colour in this picture of a bus and we had to colour inside the lines. And I came to preschool determined that day. I was like, I am going to nail this project because fuck all the noise. Fuck all the people who have said that I can't do shit in my 7-year-old brain. Like, oh no, I would have been younger. I would have been like 4. I would have been like 4 years old. And I remember spending so much time on it. And when I gave it to the teacher, big smile on my face, expecting praise that I so desperately craved, she got so mad at me because I colored it in purple and not green. And it's this kind of simple mistake that we get reprimanded for so violently and so often. We start to see it as a personality deficit and not simply what it is, a mistake in comprehending instruction. We start to internalize these messages and we start to say, no, I am the problem. It wasn't because on that day I just didn't happen to listen to the instructions right. It's I am a person who can't listen to instructions right, and now I have to compensate for that. I could list thousands of stories later on in my childhood of that exact same sort of situation, a simple misunderstanding, a disproportionate reaction from a neurotypical, and in isolation it would be fine. If that was the only time that happened, I would think about it as a fond memory of a learning experience, but it's not, because it would happen hundreds and hundreds of times a day. And that is what was traumatizing. A young mind is like a sponge. All it does is absorb and learn and figure out how to most efficiently think. And if the vast majority of the evidence that you're getting as you're trying to develop a conceptual framework of the world is negative, you're going to develop a deep-seated negative view of yourself. And as these thoughts take you through adolescence and into early adulthood, they start to condense into some really simple, really damaging truths. Statements that come to define everything about you, really. Statements like, I will never be loved for who I am. No matter how hard I try, I will always fail. All of my relationships are finite. These thoughts, as unhealthy as they are not based in a lack of confidence. They're based on evidence. And parents are about to cop a stray here, because parents are perhaps the most to blame. If any parents are watching this, I'm sure that You yourself are not the problem, but also you very well might be. So someone needs to tell you. If you have always been suspecting in some way that you're just weird, or that you're strange, or that you've never fit in with the regular crowd, you owe it to your equally weird, strange, doesn't fit in with the crowd right now, is probably getting bullied in school right now, neurodivergent ass child, to learn about your own neurodivergence. Because if you, as a neurodivergent parent, do not have a comprehensive understanding of your own neurodivergence, you will be actively traumatizing your child. They are missing so many answers to so many questions, and when they come to you with those questions and you're in that moment trying to navigate the confusion and the shame of having the same questions that you've never been able to articulate and answer all at once coming to you in the form of your child, you're just going to give them your best answer. If you don't know about your neurodivergence, it's likely that that answer is going to be entirely unsatisfactory. You won't hurt the neurodivergent community by exploring and learning about neurodivergence. In fact, you will help the neurodivergent community by being someone who is bringing awareness to it through learning about it yourself. It's not your fault that your system failed you, because it did. You were not even given close to the necessary education required to understand neurodivergence. You have had to figure it out all on your own, and whether that's through your kid or through a friend going through the journey, it has to happen by accident. Regardless of how little understanding you have about your brain, they have less understanding about theirs, and it's what you signed up for. It's up to you to shepherd them through all of this uncertainty. So that's the tea. I hope you all enjoyed my driving rant slash video. I hope you found it informative. I love you guys. Mwah. Go stream my music on Spotify. It bangs. Have a good one.